My patient. I am Dr. James Carter, a 28-year-old doctor working in a busy hospital. I became a doctor because I wanted to help people and make a difference in their lives. Every day is different at the hospital. Some days are happy and others are difficult. This is the story of one of my patients, a man I will never forget. It was a quiet morning when I first met Mr. Henry, a kind, elderly man in his late 70s. He was sitting on a hospital bed, smiling at the nurses even though he looked tired. I walked into the room, introduced myself, and shook his hand. "Good morning, Mr. Henry. I'm Dr. Carter. How are you feeling today?" He gave me a small smile and said, "Well, I've had better days, Doc, but I'm still here." Mr. Henry had cancer. It was advanced, and the treatments were not working anymore. He knew he didn't have much time left, but he didn't complain. Instead, he joked with the staff and shared stories about his life. He told me about his family, his late wife, and his love for gardening. Every time I visited his room, he had a new story to tell. One day, as I was checking his chart, he said, "Doc, I know my time is short, but I'm not scared. I've had a good life. The only thing I ask is that someone is with me when it's my time to go." His words stayed with me. I made it my goal to spend as much time with him as possible. Whenever I had a free moment, I would sit by his bed and listen to his stories. He always appreciated it, saying, "Thank you for listening, Dr. Carter. It means a lot." But the hospital is a busy place, and there are always emergencies. One day, I was called to another floor to treat a critical patient. I spent hours in surgery trying to save the life of a young woman who had been in a car accident. It was a long and difficult procedure, but we managed to stabilize her. When I finally finished, I was exhausted. I sat down to rest for a moment when a nurse approached me. She had a sad look on her face. "Dr. Carter," she said softly, "Mr. Henry passed away this afternoon." Her words hit me like a heavy weight. I couldn't believe it. I had planned to visit him after my surgery, but I never got the chance. He was gone. I asked the nurse if he was alone, and she nodded. "He passed peacefully, but no one was with him," she said. I felt a deep sadness in my chest. I had promised myself that I would be there for him, but I wasn't. I couldn't shake the feeling that I had let him down. That evening, I sat alone in the hospital lounge, thinking about Mr. Henry. I remembered his smile, his stories, and his courage. I thought about his words. "I'm not scared. I've had a good life." I realized that even though I wasn't there in his final moments, I had still made a difference in his life. I listened to him, cared for him, and treated him with respect. And that mattered. Being a doctor isn't always about saving lives. Sometimes it's about being present, even in small ways. Mr. Henry taught me that. Now, whenever I meet a patient, I remember him. I try to give them my full attention, even when the hospital is busy. I know I can't be everywhere at once, but I can make sure every patient feels seen and valued. Mr. Henry's memory stays with me, and I carry his lessons in my heart. He reminded me why I became a doctor, to care for people even in their most difficult moments.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. See you soon.